Baltic Brand Talks, a podcast about all things creative and trending.
Dear friends, this is Baltic Brand Talks. My name is Andris Rubins. I'm CEO of Magic and one of the Baltic Brand Forum co-founders. And this is a great pleasure for me to interview one of the world's best designers from Latvia, Arthur Analts. Arthur, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
And why I can proudly say that Arthur is one of the designers from Latvia, from Baltics, and globally, because Arthur has been awarded with gold in Europe's Design Biennale not so long ago. So having gold in Europe definitely says something about the qualities. But just recently, Arthur Analts was also part of the main creative mastermind behind Latvia's and Lithuania's country pavilion in Expo in Osaka, Japan. So let's start with Japan. So how did it go?
Fun, very intense. It was super intense. I wasn't expecting that. But of course, we took the part in the competition, and my goal was, Japanese culture is very close to me, design-wise, I think mentally as well, but I've never been to Japan, and this was the main kind of trigger, let's take part, and the worst case scenario, or the best case, I got to go to Japan and experience the culture, and then I went and I lived there for a while because all the setup time for the exhibition, I was staying there helping, hopefully, and then it was very intense. Yeah.
So if you have to help us, like myself and our listeners who have not been in Expo and who did not visit Latvia's and Lithuania's this unified pavilion, what would I see when I approach it, when I come in? What were the main, these attraction points, and so what was the concept about?
Well, the brief itself was saving lives for the expo itself, and I believe in that, and sustainability takes a big part in my work or way of thinking, and technology and nature and humans, and I wanted to combine it all in one kind of exhibition, in one pavilion. And there are three parts which are interlinked, which is nature, technology, and humans. So these three things, and if these three things work together, I think then we have some sort of progress or success. But overall, my initial kind of statement and goal was to compete with, the rest of the pavilions, of course, because at the end of the day, it's a competition.
How many countries?
Oh, I don't know, like more than 100 or 200.
Almost every country there is.
Yeah, of course. And they have, let's say, larger budgets than the Baltic states have. And it's very hard to compete with those countries. And I'm not talking even about Expo now, but in general, as Latvia or Baltics, we tend to have at least smaller budgets, maybe smaller resources. And still we need to compare with the rest of the world. And I wanted to take a different approach because I knew, I've never been to Expo before, but I knew that each country are going to shout. They want to be the loudest, the biggest, the brightest, and they're going to have large LCD screens, projections, large installations. And I wanted to take a different approach. I wanted to bring people in and let them relax, because at the end of the
peace of mind.
Yeah, it is a bit of like Disneyland. In the expo itself, it's very bright, very shouting, and our pavilion was subtle, and it interlinks with Japanese culture. They like. It depends, of course, but of course, traditionally they also have the Zen atmosphere, very, very calm, relaxed. And this was our pavilion. We brought in people and we just let them be, let them experience the installation, the pavilion themselves, not to push them. You spend here 2 minutes, you have to go. We let them explore. But we had two main installations, or two main parts, because it was quite small pavilion in square meters. We had the entrance and the main cube, which had multifunctions, but the main visual element was, or the concept was, nature's pharmacy. So we had this wall with panels, glass panels, which had around 300 plants from Baltic region exhibited, displayed. It's like herbarium in a way.
Something I did a lot in my childhood. Like I was
Yeah.
big enthusiast of
In the books.
plant collecting in
Yeah.
the books. Yeah, exactly.
And we collaborated with the Baltic states. We gathered all the plants, and what we did, we exhibited those plants or parts of the plant, and we had the description, and the description said what each plant kind of does and what's their cultural reference in our nature, in our culture. For example, oak leaf. We have oak tree, which is the main tree in Latvia, but then we use those branches and we go to sauna.
Yeah.
And this was written in English and Japanese. Or nettle, which is very spiky. I don't know, you can hurt yourself, but then we make salad from it or soup. And these cultural references with 300 plants, people could go. I didn't expect that everyone's going to read all 300 descriptions, but you notice one, you notice another one, you read something, and you get a grasp of our culture. And visually, it was quite appealing because people were paying attention to all the smallest details. It was very nicely lit, backlit. You could see all the veins in each leaf. And it's something also that kind of resonates with Japanese culture. And we wanted to show the Latvian nature. That's one. And also how we use nature to save lives, how we transform the same nettle and how we create tea from it or medicine or technology from it. And then we had, of course, we had some screens where people could see, which was quite fun, actually. People could see short kind of TikTok style videos of how people in Latvia and Lithuania live. How they celebrate birthdays, how they go mushroom picking, how they swim, how they celebrate.
So not just those kind of natural kind of herbs, but kind of overall.
It was just people were real people sending real videos. We made a collage, and then Japanese culture could see, oh, this is how the Baltics live. It's interesting, or similar to us, or this is different. And at the end of the or in the middle of the pavilion, there was a green wall, which naturally condensates. You can leave your print, you can leave your mark, you can write something on a kind of wet panel. Then it disappears naturally in like 2 minutes. And then you can write another letter. And this was the work that we did before. I think we're going to speak maybe a little bit about it. But this was very interactive, very intuitive. And what's important, that we're not saying like this is Latvia, but no, this or Baltics in that sense, but this is our way of living, and you can feel each person, each visitor can experience their own. And for me, it's important that we don't push certain agenda, but we let them explore, we let them be freely, and it was well received by Japanese public, crowds in general, of course, but specifically for our pavilion, people were coming even like 20 times. Some people were coming more than 20 times, and because they just loved it. And I wasn't there for the whole 6 months, but I spoke to the guides, and then they said that they're regulars coming in, and with families, kids, elderly people. It was well received, and I don't care really about the statistics, but I know that it was the most visited pavilion from Latvia from the past.
From if you compare previous expos,
it had 900,000 visitors, which is a lot, and this is a small type pavilion. There were bigger A-type pavilions, and there was a country with A-type pavilion I'm not going to name, but we saw that it had 300,000 visitors. So we had 3 times more, which is just stunning, So people liked it and reflected on it, and they got the sense of the Baltics, and this is, I think, the most important part.
Yeah, I remember coming back to this green wall, which you invented for the first time for London, and also were awarded with very prestigious gold in European design Biennale. But and then you brought the wall to Riga, and I also went, of course, to touch it, to to draw on it and make a couple of photos, because it's also very Instagrammable. That is quite important today for many. But I think the most important thing was really that you could interact, you could engage, you can leave something, even if it disappears in a minute. But it kind of gave this feeling of, I don't know, the freedom, these creative opportunities that probably this country, celebrates. Is it how you thought when you created this green wall for the first time, or how that happened a couple of years ago?
Well, the story of the creation was very personal. It's quite artistic as well, but my grandmother passed away. Prior to that, I was thinking about her a lot. And then my brother came and visited me in London, and I had very bad quality windows, and they were foggy in the morning because of all the condensation, the wetness. And during the day, they're transparent, they're normal. And I used to sleep a lot. I used to wake up later. And my brother, he's a chef, and he wakes up very early. And then he was living with me, staying with me. And then he went back to Latvia. And one morning I had very early meeting. So I woke up, I made my tea, looked at the window, and it was starting to condensate. And suddenly a smiley appeared out of nowhere. I understood initially, of course, that it's my brother. He left when he was here 2 weeks ago in the morning. But it was amazing that 2 weeks I hadn't seen it because it was transparent. And then suddenly a memory appears. And this reflects back to my grandmother, who's just staying with me in my memories, And I love this idea, and I translated into artwork, which kind of not appears but disappears. And it's important, as you said, that the interaction. What's interesting, which I didn't expect, is that people of all ages would resonate with it. Of course, we understand maybe the concept. I don't know, nature takes over, there's global warming, the wall is dripping in sweat. The condensation is happening indoors. It's not somewhere outside the window. Yeah, it's I don't know, global warming outside, but it's actually happening indoors. But even the small kids, and I talk like infants, they couldn't even stand. They were this one infant, was sitting on the ground. I asked parents, "Can I take photo?" And why? And this kid, and I saw it. The kid didn't understand anything, like where he is, what's happening. Took the hand, touched the glass, looked at the hand, saw that it's wet and cold. Looked at the glass, saw that there's a print, and looked again at the hand, and you could see in the eyes that there's awareness, of people, of him being here, and an awareness of the input to the society, to the wall, and the input on life itself. And this struck me, and I think it's very powerful. And the artwork, the installation, it could be silly, that kids are just running around drawing something. It could be that, but it could be also very important, And I like that aspect, that it depends on us, on our perception of the world, if we want it to be silly or we want it to be important. And then for Expo, we adapted this idea. We created it larger. We created it curved. Very tricky, but we created the curved wall panel, which kind of creates this amphitheater vibe that invites you. Because the flat wall is flat wall, but if something comes towards you, you feel more kind of intimated and just invites you more
less
to interact.
corners, more kind of friendly
as well. And it was tricky, of course, to build and to produce, but at the end of the day, it worked. And you could see it in people, that the emotions, they were smiling. And then
did you have this dialogue with yourself? I'm artist, I have to produce something new. Or I'm a artist who likes climate and the world so much that I would rather upcycle something that I already have. Did you have this,
Of
was
course.
it a big, tension, in your head about, basically bringing the same idea from London to Japan, or it just made total sense?
Well, I'm constantly creating something new, even if it's not produced, it's in my head, So that's that. I'm not being stuck in kind of one idea. That's important to me. Whereas for this, of course, there were kind of initial struggles, but we wanted to create the artwork, and not only that it's been done and that's it. It's somewhere in the storage. We wanted to exhibit to the wider public first. Second, we wanted to create it more sustainable. The first one was quite sustainable, but this is we used newer technology, better technology maybe, and we created in that sense. And it's important to get the message across. And this message, where nature, technology, and humans interact, I think it kind of strikes, and it kind of ticks all the boxes that are important to me, and you could see there that it resonates.
No, I agree. I kind of, when you first see it, you think, well, we've seen this before.
Yeah.
But then again, you think about, first of all, I think it's mostly Japan who visited the expo, right?
Yeah,
It's like
97%.
Yeah. So again, the overlap with, London or Riga, almost non-existent.
Of course, yeah.
So it kind of makes also perfect sense in this case, and also probably, like you say, allows you to build on it, to kind of think about what's 2.0 wall. And if you say it's more sustainable, what do you mean it can live also after the expo, or in what ways?
Both walls can live after expo or installations, but it requires less energy, electricity. It's kind of self-sustains as well. But what's the kind of fun part, which I just love, that it's basically water-based. Kind of, it works only if there's water. You touch the water, you leave the marks on the water, but it doesn't use any water. It just takes the moisture from the air, transforms it into water droplets, and then just works. And this is the kind of what I loved it. Even if it requires water, it doesn't require water. So it's quite strange, but I love that. And during London, it was there are bits that you kind of can think of, and some bits that you just don't think of. For example, in London, we were exhibiting, and in the space we didn't have any windows. So we were sitting in a space like this, and now you don't know if it's raining outside or if it's sunny, if it's 2 a.m., 2 p.m., and same in London. But I could tell if it's sunny outside or if it's raining outside just by looking at the wall. Because if it kind of drops a little bit more, it means there's more moisture in the air.
Yeah.
It's raining outside. Or if it suddenly starts like maybe becoming a bit drier, I'm saying to my team, it's sunny outside, you should go outside, Like, how do you know? And I could tell just by looking at the wall, what's the weather outside. So that's quite a fun experiment and trick. But it's also, through those kind of jokes and then fun elements, there are important questions to be asked.
And when it comes to Latvia and Lithuania joining forces, how was that?
That's the fun part, yeah.
Was there any kind of, struggle that we don't think this is the best thing to bring to Japan, or was it, very united?
Well, we won the competition with the entry, so the concept and everything was already there. So that was that. Of course, there were elements that needed to be developed, and some parts were very collaborative. Yes, this is what we should do, and some bits where one team says one thing, other team says other thing. But I think at the end of the day, that's a normal discussion in every team. We have all different views on how things should be done, could be done, but I think it was great collaboration. It was tough. It was tough because the time wasn't that much, but overall there weren't many problems.
And would you agree, especially looking from Japan or Asia or States, from far away? Would you say that Baltics is more you kind of similar to each other, or you would still say that we would rather differentiate Latvia from the Baltics?
People in Japan, what they learn in school, they don't learn Latvia or Lithuania or Estonia. They know only Baltic states. So if we would exhibit Ratobia, which is Latvia,
Yeah.
they wouldn't know what's that, But Baltics, they kind of know. I think 7% of Japanese people know where Baltics is. So that's a low number. Hopefully now it rose, But overall, I think it's the right way. For Japanese market, I think that's the right way to join forces. But what's also important, kind of, at least how I see Expo, and I noticed during not even this participation, but previous ones, people misunderstand the meaning of Expo. Maybe I misunderstand it, but it's not about making business first hand. It's not that some investor is going to come to our pavilion and say, yeah, I'm going to build 5 skyscrapers or open a huge technological office in here. It's more about bringing kind of awareness of our culture, saying who we are, what we are, where we are, because the most visitors are normal people, just people with families, friends. So tourism is important. But of course, that doesn't mean that through those people doesn't come some sort of investor. But during the expo time, there are other venues which are industry-based. So there are technological expo as well happening, or furniture expo. And those are happening for the industries. That's different. And if someone comes to the, let's say, furniture expo and sees Latvian stand or pavilion or Baltic stand, and if they've been before to the huge expo and they had positive emotions, this green wall, amazing, my kid loved it, such amazing installation, it's a start of the conversation. And then you can do business afterwards. You can purchase furniture or build skyscrapers. So this is more like your inner kind of experience, just represent the country, not sell instantly. So this is like a greeting in a way. And if it stays, that's the best. So that's how I see it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's kind of how marketing works.
Yeah, well, you know better than I do about that.
How branding works. I mean, if you can make people feel something, then they are much more open to hear if you have something to sell as well.
Exactly.
If you just are this friend who always calls when he wants to sell you something, probably not your friend.
Yeah, exactly.
And
we wanted
real friend.
And we wanted for Japanese culture to experience that they want to find themselves, not that we are in the face, buy, or look.
That's interesting, because I think often still countries really want to showcase only themselves for themselves.
Yeah.
Like really trying to reflect the other countries. I don't think it's something that often is.
You mean the competition between countries itself, or
no? When you go to Japan or Dubai or States, you would rather just think about how you talk about yourself.
Okay, yeah.
I think the whole idea that you thought a lot about how Japan, what Japan is about and what they would, like to hear, or what would resonate with them. I think that's something that is overseen.
Well, the design-wise, even I come from design background. Design-wise, all the details, all the nuances were designed according, in a way, a bit towards kind of my personal style, which I love because it's Japanese way, but mostly because it's in Japan. If it was in, let's say, Marrakesh, I don't know, Morocco, it would be different design. It would different style. More colors, maybe more earthy colors, because different culture.
Yeah.
And we, of course, we wanted to resonate. Yeah.
Cool. I mean, we could talk a lot about Expo.
Sure.
But
we could visit Expo.
And unfortunately, I think it's finished now.
It is.
In a couple of years, I think it's going to be back. And Latvia and Baltics hopefully will join all 3 Baltic countries' forces. So tell me a little bit about your design studio. As far as I remember, it's based both in Riga and London. Is it still true, or it's mostly based in Riga?
It's mostly in Riga now, yeah. It's mostly in Riga. I still go there occasionally, but no, the studio is here. I still have some large projects in there which are ongoing, but the studio, the workforce, me, is here.
Yeah. So you've been doing so many different things.
That's true.
I have something on my table which is a coin. It's called honey coin.
Yes.
I think it's one of the most beautiful coins I've ever seen.
Thank you. It's the most beautiful coin I've ever produced. Yeah, the only one.
The only one. But so just to give this diversity, the coins, the medals for Riga Marathon, Riga Marathon, then scenography, stage design, product design. I mean, and so much more. Pavilions. So it's quite interesting how you travel from this one area to other. So where did you start from? And why for you is it important to travel among these different design disciplines?
Well, for me, it doesn't matter if it's a huge expo or a small coin. The concept comes first, There has to be a great idea and the concept, or the story that we want to share. And then it doesn't matter if it's a small piece or larger. If it's moving or static, if it's mass produced or boutique and unique. So the concept is everything, the idea, the story. I do like to travel across not even like design disciplines but industries. Firstly, it's fun. It keeps me kind of on my feet and fresh. I always come a little bit naive in different industries. You can't be. You come. I wouldn't say with no experience, or not professional, but you come with a different background, and you come in an industry. For example, I come now kind of some projects are in music industry, where I'm not a musician, I haven't studied stage per se, and I come with a very naive kind of look, and I question. And I think it's very important to question things because
why do they always do like this?
Why there's always fireworks and pyrotechnics and etc. Or there's loads of different questions, and some questions you understand or you get the answers, and some you question them. You say why don't you do it like this? And of course you collaborate with teams. I always collaborate with teams, with professionals. We have discussions. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. But there's if there's concept, if there's idea or vision, then you can come up with something interesting, and that's what I find interesting for myself.
What were the first projects or products that you did?
In general,
like we like when the studio was established and when you found yourself being a professional designer.
Yeah, we were pitching a lot of ideas. We had many clients because we started with my partner Rudolf Strels. We were still studying. I was in Central St. Martin's. He was in Pratt University, and I was studying full time, of course, but not really. I was doing my own projects and projects for clients. Mostly, we did actually projects for ourselves. We wanted to be big product names, product designer names. So we did furniture projects. Were interesting for me at that time. So we did like money balls. We did some chairs, some shelves. Now looking back, I hate those projects. I hate this idea, But we did projects for ourselves, and then we got some clients and did something for them. Yeah, it hasn't changed a lot, in terms of.
Probably it's now mostly clients.
Yes and no. I want to do my own exhibition. I'm preparing for years now. I want to do big exhibition, which includes design work and then an artwork, mostly installations, maybe, let's say, installations, because there are some new projects. As I said, I'm thinking all the time, I mean, new ideas, but not all of them are realized. And now I've been trying and then working towards it, and hopefully in a couple of years, because it takes years, it takes time if you want to do it right. I'm gonna have an exhibition.
You mentioned music, and this is something I think all of Latvia, all of Baltics actually probably seen it, but most of them didn't know that you have been behind it as well. Is our this year's Eurovision entry from Latvia, Tautumētas, who was our national winner, and voila, Arthurs was involved. So what was your role, and how was it to work for Eurovision, in Eurovision? Probably the biggest stage in the world there is.
It is, yeah. Well, I wasn't singing. I'm not a singer, so I wasn't doing that. I was doing the rest, But you name it. Honestly, I was.
So there was a song before.
No, we
There was no
together.
song given.
No, we kind of created it together.
Really?
They did it.
Yeah.
I didn't do it, but they showed me. Arthur, what do you think? Maybe I gave some input or my feedback, but no. Of course, the song is theirs, and they did the song. I was just a observer and listener. But I was from the beginning. I was from the start in the team, and we all were responsible for everything. In that sense, it's not just I did everything. Not real, but overall, I was a creative artistic director. Let's say like that. If you need to point it, I was responsible for the vision, the mood, the story, the camera works. The lights, the scenography, the outfits. Then of course we collaborated with professionals as well. The camera Pepe helped. Lights, and our studio. For fashion, we had also people collaborating with us.
Choreography.
I helped also with some moves, and I was very picky. Like, no, we shouldn't do this. We should stay a bit, still at some points. But I was art directing, basically a director, and it was a lot because it was my first experience, their first experience. And again, if you're talking about budgets, we can't compete with the big names, and we competed in a way, in different way. We created a very artistic vision. Important to me, of course, that we have something different. But it's important that we have something different, not for the sake of being different, but it tells a story, and that was the best way we saw to tell the story. And it's important to create it in a unique way and a kind of boutique way, and that you can feel, love and a passion behind it. It was fun. It was very challenging, but at the end of the day, of course, we went to finals, etc. But I spoke because I was at Eurovision as well. Whole 2 weeks, I was backstage. I was the main guy who was sitting behind the screen, and if something went wrong, I would say, red light. I don't know. Yeah, live changes, whatever. So because I was responsible for the visual of it, and the team behind Eurovision, they just loved our presentation, our entry, and you could feel it. They firstly they said it, and what's interesting, they said that it's the most challenging entry this year. I didn't believe them. I still don't. I said,
because of these.
We had strings. No, not really, but the camera work, the choreography, the lights. It was very, very, very precise. It was highly precise. I wouldn't do it again.
The script from you came very detailed.
Every nanoseconds, what the camera should do, what the lights should do, what the girls should do, what we should see, what we shouldn't see. Everything was this very, very precise. And I said, guys, but you're building these huge buildings, at Eurovision. They're like, yeah, we do it every day, That's what they do. They make shows for Beyonce, for Kendrick.
Specific details.
Yeah, and this is something different, something that they are not used to. And what's good about it? It's firstly, they're not used to, which means they're interested in it. They want to pay attention. They want to create it as good as they can.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And of course, the audience, because it's a show, they kind of don't go away and make pizza while the entry is on. They stick to the screens and they hopefully enjoy what they see. So,
and one question I think people asked on social media and found kind of this interesting, that movie Flow got awarded with Oscars, and then in a very final, like in Eurovision big stage, in a very final performance, the tails appeared.
Yeah.
Was it connected with Flow, or it was just an extension of this, the whole story that already has been, built for the song?
It's for everyone, to decide on their own. But it was important to me to do something, of course, different for the big stage, and to have a surprise, because the surprise element is important. And I was sitting in a room like this, and the arena was, I don't know, a bit higher, I think. Because I was looking at the screens. I never saw it live. I haven't seen it live with my eyes, the performance, only through screens. Okay, the trials, I saw it live, but when I was looking, you could hear it, and I know that now the tail is gonna come. Okay, yes, the tails are coming. Everything fits, aligns perfectly. The tails are coming, and 2 seconds later, it's like, wow, it's the crowd, and it's all the time. It's 2 seconds delay. They can trying to understand, and then it's wow. And this is all that I wanted, in a way to surprise them, to create emotions. And now we're talking, a year has passed, and we're talking about it. And I know
still, I think it's stuck in my memory forever.
So
thank you for that.
But that's important, because this is different industry. It's a show business,
Yeah.
It's show business, and I don't want to create show business for the sake of just to create a flashy show. We could always have some flares or fires and I don't know, fireworks,
costumes.
Yeah. But we wanted to create it subtle, and I think it paid off. Yeah.
What unites like the Eurovision and Expo like approach? Is it kind of being less noisy, like trying to maybe create a break from this, craziness and noise? That
You mean my part, yeah?
Yeah, your part, but also like how Latvia represented themselves with Tautumetas and Eurovision, and with this, green wall and nature in Japan. What would you say is unifying? Symbols or features for both of them?
And I think it's what's important in all those kind of big names or stages, Expo, Eurovision, or whatever entry there is, Biennale, that we really can't compete budget-wise. And budget is important, We can't compete with the big names, so that's that. What we can keep up with is quality and ideas. And I'm more than sure that we have so many talented people in Baltics, in Latvia, that are very, very unique, or they can be unique. They have their voices. We don't need the budget, We can be very artistic. We can be very boutique, We pay attention to the details. We have time, in a way. We have time. And the big, I don't know, states, for example, or I don't know, Germany, and big names, big countries, they're mass produced, I don't know them, but I assume that the person who's making the entry for Germany is at the same time creating a concert for Beyonce, for Kendrick, and they don't have time. They're machines. They're just doing mostly similar things, fireworks. Okay, yes, amazing. Whereas we can pay attention, and I think that's very great to be in that kind of spot. We don't have to run around. We can pay attention. We can show our love to details, our love to country, and then this pays off, and this pays off in Expo, Eurovision. They said it's unique, it's different. You may not like it. Yeah. I'm not saying you're gonna like it. Yeah. You may not, but you're gonna remember, and you're gonna appreciate it. People are gonna appreciate it. Maybe not all of them, but you can't say that there wasn't quality behind it. There was quality. You may not like the visuals, you may not like the song. That's all okay. But you can't deny that there was quality, and that's important. And I think we can compete with quality instead of quantity.
Yeah. Or even sometimes we call it craft.
Yeah, but craft is overused. I found it's those wooden sticks with laser engravings.
So it's craft.
Yeah, that's craft. But craft is the right word. But people misunderstand nowadays the craft. I like the word boutique because we were in Switzerland. There are many boutique shops. Latvia is very boutique. We could be.
That's what I heard. I can't remember from which conversation, but I've heard this term that Latvia is boutique country.
Yeah,
I think it was about advertising festival AdWords, which is also if you think about it, it's it's a boutique festival.
Yeah.
You still can enjoy great work. You still can enjoy seminars, lectures, but it's it's if you compare to Cannes, which is like 20,000 visitors, or Web Summit with 60,000 visitors, and then you have basically 150 people truly enjoying something. Yeah,
there's passion. Yeah.
And there's passion,
and there's quality.
So I think kind of the whole concept that Latvia is a boutique country because of the space we have, and we have a lot of space.
Yeah.
Because of number of people we have.
Yeah,
which is not too many.
Changing.
And this is also gives us so much forest, so much freedom, so much space.
And we're so unique to the rest of the world, to the same U.S., Germany. They, of course, I hope they know about Latvia, but we were unique to them. We're like, oh wow,
And you have your own language.
yeah, that's one
one
thing.
of
But
the wonders.
but this is happening in Latvia, Oh wow, and I was here for this summit in Riga Music Week. People were coming. Everyone enjoyed Latvia, of course, but they're surprised of the quality we have, and the same goes for every other industry, I'm sure. So we just need to raise awareness, about us, hopefully in positive light.
So people often say, and also marketing experts often say that we don't have this, clear idea about Latvia as a brand. I mean, you've been traveling a lot now.
But that's your problem. That's our problem, but that's your...
I know.
You could help.
And one of the problems is it's hard to agree on something, because again,
of course.
different people, different ministries involved.
No.
So just like your very personal feeling, or like when you came back from Expo, you came back from Eurovision, and it is in a way, every country is pitching themselves, is kind of elevator pitch, but in a physical space. Like now coming back from those very global events, like how would you say what Latvia is, what Latvia should put, in their pitch? What is couple of values or thoughts that you would use?
No, but that's all that we it's not like a pitch or with a slogan, but all the qualities that are important for us. I remember we had the slow food movement or a slow movement.
Yeah.
I think it could be maybe rewarded differently, but that's I think.
You know what I mean? Best enjoyed slowly.
That's what I think.
Some concept.
Sure, but that's what it is. I think it represents, But of course, there must be the quality. I think that's one. We're kind of oasis, hidden gem. But these are all very generic words, of course. But I know that tourists are coming to Riga and they just fall in love, or Kuldīga or Latvia in general, or in Expo, people were looking at the photos, videos. You can see that there is a connection. We just need to raise awareness, Of course, that's important marketing-wise. I don't know about the strategy. I think we should market more on the, Europe, rest of the world, and say brutally, come to Latvia, come to Riga, But
I mean, they say culture eats strategy for breakfast. It's an old saying, but I think the more I think about, especially country branding and country strategy, I think it's really more about how do we make people feel, what is the the cultural relevance that we can build with different.
But exactly, the culture is highly important, in the brand or identity of our country. Strauma is amazing example, of a bunch of people from arts, from culture, music, movie industry, cinema, created this huge campaign for Latvia. We participated at Expo, of course. We didn't create such an amazing, exposure, but we did for those 900,000 visitors, which is more than half of the population of Latvia. If all of them came to Latvia, well, amazing. Same with Biennale when I took part. It's important that the culture is appreciated, and I think we need to sponsor our industry a bit more, because that's what kind of pays off. And yeah.
Agree.
Sure. No, there's no anti-arguments, for that.
Yeah.
But we need to be proactive in that.
And then again, people would say, come on, I mean, why would you need big budgets? AI is here. You can create with artificial intelligence whatever you want. What's your relationship with AI, and how you kind of...
I'm a boomer, I'm a boomer in that sense. I use technology, AI, I know about it. I can't say I don't use it, but I don't use it. Mostly I don't use it. If some text needs to be translated, I use that. But I've seen some videos what it can do. I'm amazed. I can't do that.
So you would not see it as your creative partner?
No,
rather than technical assistant.
Technical assistant, technical assistant, of course. AI is everywhere, like even all programs that we use, I know spell checking, that's AI as well. But I know that some industries are banning it already, so I've heard that, but
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
All right. So there are 3 questions we ask every guest of this podcast.
Okay.
You will need to answer them as well.
Okay.
First one, which other brands do you admire and why is that? Other brands meaning you already talked about Latvia,
Yeah.
probably Tautomētas, but like what are other brands that you think are great examples to follow?
That's a tricky question.
Can be one, can be
No,
two,
I
can
understand.
be local, can be global.
Or can be none.
Yeah.
I think it's tricky because they're all changing. The brands are constantly changing, and if I like them now, in 2 years they're gonna change direction, and I'm gonna be totally against it. I don't follow certain brands, brands per se. That's one. I like products if we're talking about products, but not brands. It's a
Okay.
stupid answer, but I don't really have. Yeah.
I mean,
Nature is
Time after
nature.
time you
Nature is brand. Earth is brand. Brand name. Yeah.
time after time, we need to be reminded that the world, and the life, is not all about the brands.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I don't follow them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know people.
But is there something that you can remember that emotionally, touched you from? Is it design, marketing, advertising, something that
First came to mind, but there's this. But it's not. I'm not being poetic now. I'm talking about brands, product design. Very brutal in that sense. Not a poetic kind of example, but there's this one brand, Volleback, and they are creating streetwear, jackets, trousers, t-shirts, and they're insane. They're creating new materials. They're doing their own kind of research. I have a jacket from them which I bought years ago, like 7 years or so, which is I think 17 times stronger than steel. I can go to protest. You can try and cut me. You won't. It's like a Kevlar vest, So that's unique. That's interesting. That's, at least they say, they're sustainable in some sense. There's technology involved. I haven't done research for those 7 years. I remember when I was buying the jacket, but that's an interesting brand. They're creating these undestroyable things or sustainable things or the things that are just gonna disappear. So yeah, like Patagonia, but very boutique as well. Very boutique. Yeah.
Cool. Should take a look.
Volleback. Yeah, they're interesting.
And you've done some collaborations with brands like Madara and others as well.
Yeah. My friends are making fun of me now. I'm like Britney Spears. I have my own perfume line.
All right. You have.
Yeah. But yeah, we created a scent. We created a scent. I approached them in 2018 for the London Design Biennale. I said I want to have an installation that is going to work on all senses. And the same for Expo. It's not only visual, we have tactile, so people can touch. And there was sound, we created sound, and there was scent. And the scent came from Madara. We collaborated, we created a scent which is Latvian forest.
So it was used in Expo as well.
And then, 7 years later or so, I approached them again, and we created a different scent. A different scent for Expo called Kizuna. And this was used for Expo. Yeah, every visitor that came, they could smell the Latvian Baltic kind of similar forests. You have to agree, but Baltic forest. And I really like the scent, and they put my name on the label. I said, yeah, sure, why not? And now I have my own scent line.
So basically, what else is left?
Yeah, right. But no, it's amazing scent. Yeah.
Cool. I need to try this, and I think the Mother is doing quite extraordinary as well.
And that's also the brand you should, I think, follow. Yeah. The local, I gave the big brand name which came to mind, but of course the local brands, and if you're talking about brands, I think the craft that we were talking, the craftsman, maybe you don't buy from the big names, go to the craftsperson, make it unique for yourself. I don't know what you need, but I tend to do that. Even now, I'm doing one project for myself. I'm renovating, building a studio, renovating. And I'm trying to have locally sourced, local craftsmen to do custom-made, unique pieces. I support them, they support me. I have my design maybe which I like, and not going to the big brand names.
Yeah. So I think industrial world probably is not something we can sell from Latvia because of the size, but this kind of tailor-made solutions again sounds cliche, but I think that's something
it does, but it's something that
be best in the world.
Exactly, yeah.
So the second question: where do you get your
don't say inspiration?
Is it inspiration is written here?
Okay.
But then I
different
think,
word.
Yeah, let's try creative energy.
Let's do that.
I don't know, new kind of sources of ideas.
Okay.
Do you have some routines? How you kind of keep your creative muscle fit?
One thing is which I mentioned, working with different industries. So I take it does. I take something from one industry, question it, and bring it back to another industry, which is something maybe used so much in the other one, but very new to the new one, other industry. That helps to keep sane. I don't drink coffee. I do have a lot of energy without it. So that's talking about energy. But the inspiration kind of comes from everywhere. I know. I guess people are always saying that, but it doesn't come from everywhere out of nowhere. You have to think about it and you have to do research. And I do like to do research for projects. And again, concept is everything, And then the ideas come. So that's important.
Any specific book or podcast that have left impact or
no, not really, not really. Even music, I don't listen. I'm not a little bit in the music industry. I don't listen to songs that much. I try to go now to some concerts, but that's where you can maybe get some inspiration or energy or more. I think it's not inspiration as oh, I should do that, but inspiration like we have to do something big, the energy like they can do that, we can do that, and let's do, because I used to live in London for a while, and you have the buzz. You can't sit and do nothing because the city is moving and you just feel the atmosphere. You have to do something. You can't sit. Whereas in Riga, it's always like
you can sit.
I can sit. I can do it tomorrow. It's I can do it day after.
That's true.
But I tend to shake myself up and it's like no let's do it. It's very hard to maybe keep up or keep the fire going. There is always this time when maybe the hands are going down, but I try to keep them up, for myself at least,
That's good. And the last question from these three is: what's your moonshot goal, or what would ultimate success for you look like?
Once again, sorry.
What would your ultimate success look like? Like in in 10 years or in whatever years, like what would you want to achieve to say that yes, I've lived my life?
I don't know. I just want to do.
You already have a scent, so it's a
that's done. That's done. That's done. But no. I don't have. I guess I have ego, of course. It's also at some level. I don't know, but it's not important. The big names or the big brands or big projects, they're not important. I really would love to do what I want to do, to say yes to projects that I want to say yes. That's important to me. Health is important, And globally, I really care about nature. I'm very far from it. I don't live in a country house. I don't have a country house. I don't go to the forest every day. But it speaks to me. I think to every Latvian, the nature speaks, and I want to travel maybe more and experience other cultures, other sceneries. That would be nice. Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, also having your exhibition that you are working
but
on.
That's not my kind of goal. To have exhibition and to show my ego, like I can do that. No, it's more that I have projects, ideas that I really wish to realize, to create, and it's a challenge for myself because many projects of mine, all projects of mine are in collaboration with someone, with experts in different fields, and they all always say that it's not possible. And then I can say that, no, we can do this, it's possible. And then there is this discussion, and then at the end of the day, we try and we make, and hopefully sometimes it's possible. And I have these couple of ideas that people are saying it's not possible. I'm saying the opposite, and I want to prove to myself, and I want to create this new work because I think it's going to have input later on in general and public, So that's that. The coin is coming. That's
the new.
That's for you, yeah.
Really?
Info for you, yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, it's been, I think, 7 years now since the idea.
Years in the making.
Yeah, they postponed it all the time. All the time. I was.
When is it coming out?
Next year.
Next year.
Yeah.
So you can't really talk about yet. But
yeah, but it's coming. It's
cool.
coming, and that's also kind of interesting, because ideas tend to age, or projects tend to age, and I try to keep my projects quite minimal, quite pure to the idea, so they don't age maybe as fast. And this coin, which I won the competition in 2019, so it's been 8 years. 8 years, and I looked back at the idea, where it was 8 years ago, and it's like, it's still fresh. It's still fresh. It's good. Yeah, it's good. It's good to go to production.
It matures kind of.
Yeah. So
good wine.
Good wine, exactly. It just gets better, and the prices go up.
That's also important. So, I mean, we are talking now. It's yesterday we had this Large Places Day, very important day for Latvia to memorize, to commemorate or celebrate the freedom fighters. And in a week we have our Independence Day or our birthday to the country. So what would you wish to Latvia in its birthday?
Oh, the classic, the son's life, but no, to be more together. To be more, so we can coexist together, it's.
I mean, in the context of
recent events, of course, it's hard to watch. I took part in every meeting. I spoke to the youngsters. I had a discussion yesterday at the National Museum of Art, and there were a bunch of young people, and of course, I was surprised by their intelligence, by their creativity. I gave them a task because it was a kind of meeting and then workshop. It was a workshop, and I put them a song, Divdujiņas, so Elements of November song, kind of, and it was 2 minutes long, the song, and I asked them to create a scenography. It was a workshop for, I don't know if it's a performance or show, or
music video.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they were 4 groups, and each of them, and they had only 30 or 25 minutes because I was talking a lot. So only 25 minutes, and they could use, I don't know, pencils, drawings, collages, whatever. It was a workshop, and they came up with unique, and I'm honestly, I couldn't come up with those ideas. Like you couldn't come, no one could, and it was so fresh. It was naive, but in a good way. It was all you could all of those ideas realize. Very patriotic, and they had the essence of Latvia, of our nature, of our history, and they presented their ideas for those kind of music videos or performances for the song. And I just said, like, if someone asks me at some point to design for this venue an event, I'm honestly gonna call you, and you're gonna design those ideas. And this is a small bunch of people, but you could see that they're very patriotic and they care about Latvia. And this kind of gives, I don't know, some calmness in me that the next generation, I hope that I'm also the next generation, but the next generation is more sane. Yeah.
I think, it really felt a bit like generational gap happening also in these recent events, when, part of us really want to live in a free and Western world with humans loving each other despite their beliefs, races, approaches, and then there's generation who still kind of thinks that it has to be like it has been.
Yeah, they see this the change is coming, and they can't accept the change,
Yeah.
and they're gonna do everything they can to take out the change.
So let's hope we are as united as we can,
Yeah.
and at least let's not destroy our own, boutique country that we love so much.
Yeah, I think it's gonna age better. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you, Arthur, so much for your valuable time.
Oh.
I really hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I did. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And thank you for listening or watching, whatever you prefer. And we see us in next Baltic Brand Talks episodes very soon. So thank you and happy birthday,
Latvia.
oh dear Latvia.
Yes.